feeling of being hunted by a drone and hearing it above you and knowing that someone's looking at you is unlike anything I can possibly describe.
Yeah.
I felt like they could see me. Like they could see who I was.
You were exposed, right?
Yeah. And the streets are empty. So you walk through the streets, you can hear a drone in the sky and they know who you are. They can download your phone information and they're trying to kill you. I mean, they were trying to kill me. The fear that I felt when I was in Chaziv Yar and Kramatorsk was nothing compared to what I saw in Kherson. And this is what people have to live through every single day in that city, every single day. The Russians hit the market in Kherson that I was filming in on Friday and killed 7 people. And I recognized one of the people that was killed because she sold me apples on Friday. And I noticed that because she had pink shoes. What's happening here is out of control. The fact that the media isn't, I think, paying attention to what's going on enough is crazy. The Cultural Art Center was hit there on Thursday when I first arrived, and there was a piano surrounded by flames. Because the Russians like to destroy anything with any kind of culture and beauty. That's what they do best. And every single day, slowly, life drains out of that city. And the city's known for its symbols of like watermelons and paper planes. There's a music video that I found that was filmed in the Cultural Arts Center that was bombed that someone showed me after I left, and it was of young girls and kids throwing paper planes through the sky and singing how much they love Kherson.
Херсон у серці. Херсон мені гоню ліме.
Мой Херсон у серці.
It's an amazing place with the most resilient people you can possibly imagine. And every single day it's being eroded by the Russians because they're so close. And the power is out there because when the Russians come, darkness follows. Everywhere they go, you can feel them. You can actually feel it in your skin when you're near the Russians. You know, I asked everyone that I met there, why have you stayed? And this one woman said, because my husband is buried here. My son is buried here. And if I was given the option between the Russians shooting me and me staying here, I would tell them to shoot me. And me leaving, I would tell them to shoot me. This is just how people feel. People are deeply symbolic and sentimental there. And I don't blame them. And like a lot of people in the city basically described it as well as every day that we survive and live in this city is a fuck you to the Russians. Which it kind of feels like. But I don't know how those people are still living there. I mean, when I see the videos like today of what happened in the market, I absolutely despair. I could barely mentally cope with being there for 2 days. I have no idea how people are there in the long term. I have no idea. But it's like in Ria, this is a restaurant in Kramatorsk that I used to go to every single night with John Sweeney, and we called it the Shelter in the Storm. It was the only restaurant that was open in Kramatorsk, and every night when we'd come back from the front lines, we would go there. And it would feel like a piece of normalcy. It would feel like a piece of home and comfort, and the staff would work around the clock to help us if we had a flat tire or help us feel like there was a piece of life that still existed.
Why, Paul? Why haven't you covered that in your lesson about battlefield safety? You just got so lazy.
Maybe that's the trick. That they wouldn't think it was possible.
And the Russians put a surface-to-air missile, an S-300, into that last year and killed everyone inside of it. And I can't stop thinking about everyone that's gone there, and I can't stop thinking about everyone in Kherson that has to live through that. I don't know how they do it. Yeah. This is how they operate. This is what they do. They don't see Ukrainians as people. They see every Ukrainian as fair game, as a legitimate target, and because they're fascists, and fascists operate by humanizing themselves and dehumanizing everybody else. And that's exactly what they do. And that's why this is happening now.
Well, I feel like there is a difference between, the Russian military and ISIS. Russian military is state funded. Yeah, that's basically it. Both terror groups, though.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, that's true, actually.
Yeah. All right, I guess I missed this question with John Sweeney, but what is the end game here? Like for the Ukraine war? Like, do they just slowly trickle in weapons and aid, hoping for a stalemate?
I don't think any country in the West has actually done what needs to be done to allow this country to win this war, because we're too cautious, because we don't understand the Russian threat that exists to us, which is huge. It undermines everything about our society. And the moment I think as a society we realize what's really going on will be the moment it's too late. But we act too little too late. Angela Merkel, after Crimea was taken by Russia, went for a champagne lunch with Putin and opened the Nord Stream pipeline, because in the West, we're still intoxicated with the fumes of Russian gas and cheap Russian money. And it needs to end. London is the Russian money laundering capital of the world. And this is why we're in the situation we're in. It's an absolute disgrace. So this is just an excerpt from an interview that I did on a show called The Gaze, Gaze. The interview is 40 minutes long, and I really go into everything I've experienced here. So if you type that into YouTube, you should find the full extended interview. These were just the highlights, so please go and check it out.